Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another recap of Tyler Perry's Zatima, Season 4, Episode 4, Obsession. Let's get into it. So, um, eventually, Fatima, she let Deja stay after Deja mostly said that she was a doula. And as Zach was about to let her out the door, he's like, "What is a doula?" Angela was like, "It's somebody that helps with emotional support during and after the birthing process." And yeah, so then they started eating and whatever the case may be. Then they started talking about their real estate job and how even though they trying to get the commercial space, there's still other factors that tie into like how like mafia owns certain parts of that, and then it makes it hard for them to try to buy it and get the stuff like that. So also, Bryce, he had a lesson in racial discrimination because he thought that just since that you know Zach is a hardworking person that they should automatically get it. No, it's levels to this. It's like just because you this and this doesn't mean always going to come out to go exactly in your favor. So Bryce had a hard, lesson in that. Also, Preston let it be known that him and Deja are just friends. She trying to let it be more than that, and he was like, no. She was like, yeah, for now. He was like, no, forever. And then Angela basically let Bryce know that, she was sorry for taking advantage of his kindness. And then she also was like, felt some way because she felt as if, him being kind to her was uh, open invitation to insinuate that he wanted to be more than friends with her, but she basically let him know that listen, we're just doing this and that's it. And I respect if you would just be honest with me, not trying to have a hidden agenda. But he was like, I can't help it. That's just who I am. Is that co-sign? Like, yeah, he's just love struck, and it's hard because once you love something that bad, it's hard to like let it go. So he's gonna try to work on that, and then she apologized for that. Meanwhile, at the same time, Deja, so Fatima was like, so what's about this doula thing? She was like, huh? What are you talking about? She was like, so basically when Angela made that comment about being a stripper doula, it was right. Come to find out, Deja, she be covering shifts for her pregnant friends at work, and that's how she got her name doula. So Fatima was like, handle it. So Zach was like, Deja, it's time for you to go. And at this point, it's a wrap. It's time for dinner to be done. Meanwhile, everybody's packing up to leave. Angela asked if she wanted to if Fatima needed her help, and she was like, "No, me and Zach got this." So everybody's leaving, pulling out their stuff. Meanwhile, this whole entire time, you look at the corner of the door, you see Leslie outside their house just watching them, and it's just like, oh my gosh, can we say obsessed to the max? Yes, we can. So they leave or whatever the case may be. Um, Fatima, they after they cleaned up or whatever the case may be, she goes to bed and they have a moment. Meanwhile, um, Leslie, she ends up calling Malachi in the car on the phone, and he was like, "Hey, Leslie, how did you get this number?" She was like, "I'm doing this for you." And then you start hearing stuff. He's like, "Where are you?" She comes out of the car, out of the parking garage, and she looked exactly like Fatima. She got a budding stomach, and he was like, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "I'm pregnant." She was like, "I'm pregnant," and he was like, "That's not my baby." He can't have kids by you, or maybe he just can't have kids. At period. Maybe he got a vasectomy, and she don't know that. We don't know. But she was like, or you don't want to have kids by me because I'm not her. So he's still in love with Fatima, and I guess it's best to just say cut their loss. So they both supposed to be broken up between 4 to 6 months ago, which is about that time. Oh, everything's starting to make sense. Okay, everything started to come together. So they start going back and forth. She keeps talking about that's his baby. He's like, that's not my baby. That's not mine. I'm gonna pay for to get the test done in the womb. She was like, oh, that's not. That's. I don't think you. I didn't know you could do that. Yes, you could do that. It's called amniocentesis. You can text to see everything that's wrong with your child before it's even born. Okay, so it does like it works like that. So she kept going back and forth with him. Then she was like, "It's our baby. You don't want to be with our baby, our family, all this other stuff." And it's just like, oh my god! And I missed the part while they was leaving. She's standing outside their door, their house in the backyard. It started going crazy. I think she's bipolar or schizophrenic, and she started punching herself, talking about why'd you have to take my family? Why'd you have to take my man? And then she ends up biting her hand. Like, and then she was like, okay. That's when she ended up going to Malachi's job. So they're going back and forth. I had to tie that into this. So they go back and forth. And she grabs on him like, I just want to be with you. You're not family. He was like, that's not my family. So he pushes her down, and she gets, and he's like, oh, like she made herself fake fall. Like, oh, he's like, I'm gonna help call the ambulance, and she was like, I don't need that. And then she did it the second time, and she was like, ow, Malachi. He walked off his car like, girl, please. He know how crazy this chick is. He was like, I should never married you, and it's just like all this evidence shows that there was something wrong with you. So he drives off in his car, and she's like, ow, Malachi. Ow, Malachi, still on the ground. Ow, Malachi. Ow, Malachi. I Malachi. Ow, ow, Malachi. And it's just like, girl, get the heck away. You know, that nothing wrong with you. Faking this dramatic scene for what? Nothing. So meanwhile, she goes back home, and at this time, she has pictures of Fatima and Zach. She takes off her little pregnancy fake belly, and you see this darkness in her eyes. And at this moment, she's sitting down on her bed, and all you see is pictures behind her, Fatima, Zach. Like, she's been watching this girl for years. It even had pictures of Ian in there. Like, what the heck? This girl been clocking her for years. Like, oh my gosh. Meanwhile, Zach and Fatima, they're having their moment. There, she was talking to how he was talking to Zach about how she still felt upset that he had to work and he wasn't there to help. He's like, listen, I make my own schedule. She was like, yeah, so, but he's like, since I make my own schedule, meaning I don't have time. So they went back and forth and da 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 da. They made up. Then he said, I'm going to turn my phone off, and it's going to be me and you and the baby the next day. So they end up, finishing their moment. By this time, oh, also, there's a hidden camera in their room. This while they're doing that, Leslie is doing the same thing, but to herself, watching them do it on the video because she has a hidden camera in their house and she can watch it on her phone. So while they're getting off, she's getting off at the same time. So it's just like this girl is so obsessed. Like, get it over yourself. You can't be Fatima. Fatima is one of a kind. Like, it is what it is. So after that, um, Zach finally goes to sleep. He has this dream where him, Fatima, and Michael, they're outside. She's still pregnant, so. And next, social services pulled up with police, and they were like, they end up giving him an order. He hands it to Fatima. Fatima opens it up, and Zach was like, "You're not taking my son." He was like, "Them two guys, you need back because them two guys ain't gonna do nothing." And Fatima wrote it and read it. She was like, "Zach, Zach, Zach, you need to just give him over." And he was like, "Who's Patricia?" She was like, "He's like, I don't know." So she was like, "You need to just like let them take him because here it says that he is temporarily taken from you. So just do that. You don't want to lose your life trying to fight for him like this, or you don't want to see him lose his dad and stuff like that. So he was like, "Oh, yeah, cool." He had to put on his little brave face, even though he was crying. It broke my heart too, because I was crying too, and that. But I was just like, "Oh my gosh." So he basically reassured Michael that this is like a little vacation, and then he told him he loved him, and they took Michael, and then he happens to wake up, and then Fatima was like, "You okay? You had a bad dream?" He was like, "Yeah." So she hugged him, embraced him, and yeah, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Oh, I need more. I need more. I need more. It's so good. Okay, so with that being said, hopefully Malachi gets something to help for Leslie, but I think he's not really caring because they're not no longer together. We're gonna see. I wonder, will Fatima and Zach find the hidden cameras in their house? They need a bug sweep. Like at this point, it's too much. I don't think Angela ever told Fatima what's going on with Leslie or like brought it up because it's just like this girl is just lurking. Like over your shoulder, somebody's just watching you. That's just what the vibe is giving. But yeah, enough of that. Oh my god, I can't wait to see what happens next week. Oh my gosh. So with that being said, I'll see you at the next one. Bye.